Hello and welcome back to another installment of Tiger Talks. This is a time where I can share information with you, the stakeholders, about what's going on in the school district and maybe some reasoning for why things are the way they are. Now we'll start out today with talking about December 3rd. That's going to be a day where the students will learn from home. We're going to have a remote practice day, so that way the teachers can work on their skills of using technology. The students can also work on their skills and getting the videos downloaded to their computers, and it's just a chance to work out all the bugs. And then after that day, the teachers will have meetings and consultations with one another to see what went well, what can be improved, and so that will be December 3rd coming up, and it'll just be that one day. The next topic I'd like to talk to you about is becoming a substitute employee for the Sherrard School District. We're trying to keep school in session as much as we can, as long as we can staff the buildings. As you know, we're in a COVID pandemic right now, and so a lot of staff members and students have to be quarantined, or maybe they have to be sent home because of symptoms, or perhaps they even contracted the virus themselves. And that causes us to have a great need for substitutes. Now, a lot of our teachers are choosing to work from home and to teach remotely from home because perhaps they're just being quarantined but otherwise healthy. And when they do that, we need someone to supervise the classrooms at school while they deliver their instruction from home. And so in order to do that, you need to have a paraprofessional certificate, which can be obtained through the Regional Office of Education. And you would qualify by either having 60 college credits, then you'll automatically get the certificate, or if you don't have that, you can take a basic skills test, and then if you pass that, then you'll be able to get that license. And then at that point, we'll be able to use you in the school district to monitor the students and supervise the students while the teacher delivers the instruction from home. So if this sounds interesting to you and you're willing to help us out, please give us a call here at the unit office. I'll be happy to talk to you about that in the process. And that would be very helpful to us because it would allow us to stay open for a longer period of time. Even if you can only do it occasionally or not very often at all, any amount of time would be appreciated. A couple of years ago, the state decided to allow districts to have an e-learning day in place of an emergency day. And what that means is if we would have a traditional snow day, the state says that if we follow a certain protocol, that we can instead have the students be at home on their computers learning throughout the day. And if that's the case and they are engaged with learning for at least 5 hours, then we don't have to count it as a snow day. So it doesn't need to be made up at the end of the school year. So we've explored that idea, and then along came COVID, and so we were able to do remote learning days for the entire spring fourth quarter, and then a lot of school districts are doing that now, so it seems like it's kind of unnecessary, but we do want to make preparations for when things do return to normal, that we can be engaged with e-learning days instead of snow days. Now, I should interject here that we probably will still use emergency days for times when we're caught off guard. For example, if a snowstorm is supposed to be just a slight dusting and ends up being 5 or 6 inches, well, then we probably don't have time to prepare, send the computers home for the kids, the teachers to make plans. And so on those days when it's unexpected, then we'll still have an emergency day. We'll still have that snow day and we'll still make it up. However, as you know, most of the time we do have a day or two notice that a big snowstorm is coming, and when that takes place, the teachers will be able to make adequate plans. The students will be able to take home their Chromebooks. Paper packets will be able to be made for those students who don't have access to technology, and then we'll have an e-learning day. Now, of course, there's a process the state wants us to go through to get approval, and we're going through that process. Last night, the board did vote to go ahead and ask for that approval from the state. So now we'll submit our paperwork, and hopefully the state will give us that approval. And then should a snow day come along this year, there is a chance that we will have an e-learning day instead of a day off from school. Next, I'd like to talk to you about our athletic programs and our after-school activities. As you know, there's been a lot of confusion about what we're going to do or what we're not going to do. On November 4th, the board met to decide what we're going to do about basketball, and they voted to proceed with the basketball season. And since then, the governor came out with a new mandate, and IHSA has determined that they're going to follow that mandate, which basically means we're not going to have any sports or sports practices after school each day. We're not going to move forward with the basketball season. In essence, we've put the season on pause for right now until the COVID numbers become better. But along with that, we're also not going to have the other activities such as dance or cheer, plays, jazz band, Scholastic Bowl. All of those activities that typically would take place after school have been put on pause along with the athletics. And we'll let you know when we're going to resume these activities, and we hope we can. We're not saying that we're not going to have them for the rest of the school year. We're just saying that we're not going to have them right now. And finally, I'd like to talk to you about our district's social media. We are very happy to have a Facebook account, an Instagram account, a Twitter account, and of course we have our regular school district website. And we post on those platforms on a regular basis. And the purpose of that is to communicate with our stakeholders the positive things that are going on in the school district. We like to celebrate good things that have taken place, and just to communicate in an uplifting way the good things that are going on in the district. Now, that doesn't mean we're trying to convey the idea there aren't any problems in our district, because there are problems, just as there are with any organization. But we want to make sure we take care of those problems in the right manner. And that would be through talking with the person with whom we have the problem. So if it's a coach, talk to the coach. Or if it's a teacher, talk to the teacher. And if you're not getting any satisfaction or resolution with those conversations, then you follow the chain of command by talking to the principal, and then to the superintendent, and finally the Board of Education. So if you do have a concern that really doesn't deal with anybody in particular, maybe you notice there's trash in the fence or something. If there's something that you want to bring to our attention that's of a concern, then use our contact us at sherrard.us email. Once again, that's contact us at sherrard.us. Just send an email, and then the person who oversees that email will make sure that it gets sent on to the proper person for follow-up. And so hopefully you'll keep enjoying visiting our social media pages, because I think it's a great way for us to have a sense of community and for us to connect with one another. And we sure enjoy posting things for you to enjoy.